Welcome to The Heaven, a 5-star Airbnb situated in Nakuru, Naka. Ample parking, tight security 24/7, smart lock on the door, homely ambience. The interior is superb, fully furnished with modern lounge, fully equipped kitchen with dishwasher, washing machine, cooker, fridge, Wi-Fi, smart TV and board games. 3-bedroom apartment, 2 master en suites, common bathroom. The Haven is located along the old Nairobi highway. Come and enjoy the presidential stay at The Haven, where we welcome you to a home away from home.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jim Getani, a fashion model participating in the Nakuru Fashion Week.
Hi, I'm Magdalene Takanyiro. I'm 22, student at Kabarak University. I'm happy and grateful to be part of Nakuru Fashion Week.
Hello, my name is Jojo Walid. Today's judge at Nakuru Fashion Week. For today, I'd like to say thank you to the models who have appeared here. And thank you to the crew, Mambazuka and everybody. I welcome you to the main show happening this coming March here in Nakuru. Thank you.
So good afternoon. My name is Justin Lo. I'm a male model based in Nairobi. This is my first time in Nakuru. I'm very proud, courtesy of Mambazuka events. And I hope to see you in the main event.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Liki Odera, the host of Sash Style. We're on episode 13. We're grateful for the support you're giving us. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, kindly just switch on your YouTube and subscribe to Sash Style. Karibuni sana. Today I have an amazing, beautiful guest. I'm not going to introduce her because I don't know how to do it. I'll let her do the introduction. Hi, Karibu.
Thank you so much, Leke. So my name is Yulen Bulegani. I'm the Miss Intercontinental Kenya 2022, Miss Earth Kenya Fire 2021. Professionally, I'm a data science, and I hope to have an interactive session. So thank you, Leke, for having me.
Wow, Miss Intercontinental 2022. You said you're a data what?
A data scientist.
Scientist.
Yes.
Some of us who left college many years, probably the data scientist wasn't a thing. Maybe you could explain to the parents, because a lot of our audience are parents. They want to understand what this pageantry is all about.
Okay, about the data science.
Data science, yes.
The pageantry is taking away.
Yeah.
All right, so data science is basically just making use of data. And apparently, data is, the basis of everything. Even right now that a lot of things are AI is getting into a lot of things. We need data for all of that. And you realize, like, for example, when people actually realize the importance of data, was during the times of COVID, because it helped so much being able to collect the data, to know which places are more affected, where should we take help, what can we do in this kind of area. So it was really helpful during those times. But I do believe that data holds a lot of power in our society today, and it can help us solve like 99 of the problems we face, 99%.
Wow. Good explanation. And thank you so much. You're the second guest who has studied data, and that means the second beauty queen. The first one was via Karaoke, who is also a data scientist. And one of the things people have been talking about, the African, in the West they've understood, but most of the African community still believe beauty queens, models have no brains, or they're just ladies who decided easiest way, I can just walk. Tell us how modeling started with you? Were you in campus? Were you in primary school at your younger age? There are people who came and said, "Oh, I started like Ovaya started when she was very young because her mom was a model." So how did your journey start?
Well, it's good that you've mentioned a lot of people actually believe modeling is for, the people who want the easy way out. Maybe they don't want to study. And actually, I am one of those people who used to believe that. So for me, my pageantry journey started in university. So I'm not one of those kind of people. I grew up, I was watching Miss World the whole night. It did not happen like that. In fact, us used to only watch TV when my dad had money to buy petroleum. So when I got to campus, that was when, so I had never watched even a beauty pageant, but when I got to campus, I got the exposure. And then, so since I never had that dream in me, but my classmates, they were like, Yulen, you're so beautiful, why don't you try Miss Took? And then that was when I was in second year. That is the first time I started hearing that. But I just told them, I don't think that thing is for me because first of all, I'm short. I'm 5'4". I knew models to be like those tall, those tall girls, 5'8" and above. So, there's something about being honest with yourself. And I do that a lot. So I was honest with myself and I said, this thing is not for me. So in second year, I just left it. And then come third year, the auditions are still being held. And then my friends were like, why don't you try this time? Definitely, I brushed them off. So they just did the auditions and everything. The last day of the audition, I was thinking of going for it. But then I got a very bad stomachache, so I never went.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I had not made up my mind, so I just left it. But then when I just go home and think about it, and then I was like, you know what? And I was going through a lot of stress, by the way. I was going through a romantic crisis.
Wow. It's always a big problem.
A big problem. So I was going through a romantic crisis and I said, okay, maybe this could be a good getaway. So I went on the first day of training. Actually, it was Miss Diana who was the current Miss Took because I studied in Took, yes. So I went to her and told her, you know what, I did not come for the auditions, but I would really like to join. And then she took my name and that is how the journey began. We did the training and everything, yes.
Wow. How did it go? Did you win?
So the thing is, first of all, when we were training, I was shocked because I knew it was just about the catwalk, right? But I get there and people are working out and I'm like, okay, interesting. So I enjoyed the journey more like I wasn't even focused on the results. But I mean, it's a competition. Everyone wants to win, but I was so scared. Like, I just couldn't imagine because I remember walking on stage. I was so nervous. My legs were shaking and I would get out of there, ask my friends, could everyone see me shaking? And they were like, no, you did great. I'll be like, okay, fine, if you say so. Okay, so we did the competition and I was the second runners up.
Wow.
Yes, which was mind-blowing to me because I didn't even know what I was getting into. Yes, but that turned something, like it sparked something in me. Like, what did these judges see? Because you know a pageant, right? You got there, beautiful women of substance. Yeah, and you're just there. For me, I was just this little girl who did not understand anything. So I ended up being the second runners-up, and it really motivated me.
Wow, this is a beautiful journey. You spoke about two things that caught my eye. One is the height. For a long time, people thought pageantry is about height. Modeling is about height. And I keep telling guys on this screen, anybody can be a model. One of the greatest model we had, may his soul rest in peace, is Papa Shirandra. Papa Shirandra did the Coca-Cola ad, Brrcha, which was internationally renowned. I mean, he went and got awarded in Los Angeles, headquarters of Coke. But let's go back to runway. One of the best performing Miss World in this decade is Magdalene. Magdalene is like 5'5", 5'6". The rule of the game is 5.8 to be a Miss World standard to go into the contest. But again, in this world, like you said, it took you time to think about it. And what I learned from you, you are scared of losing. That's why it took you time to go into pageantry. And I think most of the time we think it's height. If you want to go for something, it doesn't matter how good you are, but if you put your mind in it, then you'll do it. I remember late 90s when Kate Moss, one of the greatest models, got into the catwalk. She was like 5'7", 5'8". Akina, the rest of the models were like 6'1", 9'11". So, and she came in and just overtook them, Akina Naomi Campbell, and she became the best. That takes me back to whatever you want to do in this world. If you focus, then you'll get it. No, then you're done with the Miss Kenya Poly. Okay, some people wanted to kill me the other day saying Kenya Poly.
Yes, it's too,
Technical
please.
University of Kenya. Sorry. How did the journey move from there? Because after that, I think there's been good things coming out of that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, though good things came later, but yeah, after I realized that, oh, maybe I could do this, and I really enjoyed like presenting myself on stage. And remember that time, if you ask me about pet project, I'm just wondering what's all this, because I don't even know my purpose in life, first of all. So I just like to mention, like, first of all, pageantry has been a great way of discovering myself and knowing really, like, say, which kind of mark do I want to leave behind? You know, everyone has their own kind of dreams. And for me, it's kind of something I never thought about. So when I did the Mistook, I didn't have any form of purpose, any sense of direction. But then I said, I will take it up to myself because I'm in this journey. I did random pageants just to improve myself, you know, a form of self-development. And at the same time, try to find my purpose and direction. So from Mistook, I did another pageant. My sister is the one who actually sent it to me. It was called Miss Clivios. Clivios was a humanitarian organization, so they deal with a lot like poverty, education, you know, a lot of just these societal causes. So that is the pageant I did next. And I put in my best. And guess what? I won.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes, so I just kept going. I was doing a lot of humanitarian stuff. And that's when it hit me. You know, when I was growing up, I told you I grew up in a village.
Yes.
And the circumstances were not that good. So we were a middle income family, even though we never lacked, but a lot of people around us lacked. So I faced poverty eye to eye. So I used to tell my family, my mom, my dad, I would tell them, you know what, when I grow up, I just want to make so much money so that I can help all these people, like help the ones who are not going to school, do this and do that. And yeah, my parents used to encourage me and tell me, you're a brilliant girl, you can do it.
Wow, that's so encouraging. This pageantry without knowing, because pageantry is about giving back. One of the things that you say that a lot of people don't understand when they get into pageantry, I think one of my guests, Kavata, mentioned it. She went in for Miss Multimedia twice. The first time she didn't have a purpose. So she just went because her friends were pushing her and she didn't win. She wasn't even placed. At least you were placed. Then she came in for the second time when she learned her purpose and realized there's more to pageantry than just going for beauty, the outer beauty. So I think it's the same thing that we need to tell guys out there. When you're going to pageantry, guys will push you, but you need first to understand what exactly is taking you into this pageant. You've been very key about poverty. A lot of beauty queens around the world go back home and give back to society. One of the things that in the last 2-3 years, I've seen beauty queens discussing about environment, and it looks so funny because the years before that it was about children's home and stuff like that. Nobody's thinking out of the box. But you told me your pet project, or probably what you are advocating for, is trying to eradicate poverty as little as you can. They say every single help that you do takes one person a mile away. So tell us about your project on poverty eradication.
Okay.
Yes.
So this now began with the humanitarian organization I was working with.
The one you won?
Yeah, the one I
yes.
won after Miss Took. So since they were involved in a lot of that, it was a good chance for me to actually fulfill my childhood dream without having the money, you know. So what I realized is, but I had very good support systems. So like say for example, during my birthdays, I would tell people, don't give me a gift. It was called a birthday for charity. Just send money maybe on this pay bill, then you'll take that money. There's a children's home I was working with at that time. So we go and pay school fees for the kids who've not paid school fees if they don't have any kind of food. So you'd find that I used to do a lot of fundraising here and there. Yeah, so I did that for a while. And then since I told you, like when I got into pageantry, I just kept doing random pageants in the quest to discover myself and to find my purpose. So I did that for quite a while. I was still in touch with them even after my reign ended at Clivios. And then that's when I came across Miss Earth. And then here I had a different perspective because my pet project has always been about like helping young kids get education and, you know, that kind of stuff. Then I came across Miss Earth, which was not really in line with, say, my dreams and goals. But, you know, it gave me a different perspective. And being a scientist, I always want to be at least close to science. So
I didn't know about Miss Earth. So you contested in Miss Earth.
Yes.
Or what year? Who won that year?
With Grace, we competed. I was the Miss Earth Fire.
Grace
Maganga.
Yes.
In 2021.
Yes. I remember that one. Yeah.
Yes.
What was the name of the winner? The Kalenjin
Stacy
girl?
Chumba.
Yes. I wasn't around, so yeah, I usually want to attend those big Kenyan pageants. I think it was done in a cinema hall somewhere.
Yeah, we actually did it in Diamond Plaza.
Yes. How was it?
It was good. It was very competitive, yes, but really nice. So yes, I came across Miss Earth, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just do it because at the end of the day, I believe that it's everyone's responsibility to take care of the environment. You don't need to be born somewhere, you know, you don't need to have like a touching story for you to stand on podiums to talk about environment, you know. I believe it is everyone's responsibility to take care of the earth. It's our home. So, and also at the same time, being a scientist, I feel bad when like scientists come out and they say, you know, global warming is real. And then we just sit there and be like, no, we don't think so. They have done some research. They've gone deep into that. Yeah. So when I came across Miss Earth, I found it like a good platform for me to also experience this science and pageantry side of me, and also to just let people know we need to believe the scientists and do what is right.
Great. I remember that year I was appointed as one of the judges internationally to judge them talent and creative wear for that year. I was the only African judge in that. So a lot of learning about Miss Earth. And Miss Earth, Miss Earth has good memories for me because it's the only international pageant that Kenya has gotten a crown for it. The first year, Miss Earth is 24 years this year. Started in the Philippines in 2000. And the 2000 Kenya was first runners up. Then the winner was decrowned, and then Winnie Mwakwe. I don't know how these girls from Western Kenya always, when they go for this thing, they just win them. So Winnie became Miss Earth in 2000 and 2000. So, and again, because of that relationship, a lot of Kenyans have been involved, and I think it gives us closer relationship other than Miss World, Miss Universe, where we look like escorts.
Yeah, that's
for,
right.
for me to judge as a Kenyan, to judge in Miss Earth, that means there's something they see in Kenya. So anyway, let's go back to pageantry. You've done your university pageants, you've become runners-up, you've gone to NGO and found the passion and learned about giving back, and already in your younger age you're thinking about it. Then now you're in Miss Earth, the fourth biggest pageant in the world, and you performed, and like I said, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't win. I keep telling the queens, one of the most important thing is being part of it. Winning is the grace of God, because any one of those ladies in front there, the crown just falls on their head. So we're done. Your Miss Earth, you've not placed in top 3. But what happens? Did you give up, or decided now I want to go harder into pageantry?
So what happened actually, I was kind of giving up because when I was doing Miss Earth, I lost my mom during the competition.
Oh, sorry.
But she was my greatest supporter. So she passed away, and then we just buried her almost immediately because it was during COVID time. And then I didn't have time to process. I was doing a pageant, so I just went on. I was so strong. I used to cry in the house when I got to the pageant, facing the judges and other girls, like a queen. I'm smiling because that is not where to come and talk about your problems back at home. I mean, people do care about it, but this is not the platform. So that's what used to happen. So after the pageant, now I was grateful actually to even run up as Miss Earthfire, because it was the most hectic pageant for me. I was going through a lot. So after it, I was just like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do any pageant again. I just need to relax, process everything that has happened, and then maybe I will get into pageantry another time. But you know what was my greatest dream? Like when I just started the fire for pageantry, I want to get a chance to represent my country one day, one time. I'm a big time dreamer. So I saw Miss Intercontinental. Mind you, I ever competed in Miss Intercontinental in 2019 or 2020. I was among the top 6. I did not win. The year that, what's her name? The guest you said you're going to have.
Wangari.
Yes, the year that Wangari won. I was with her, but I was in the top 6. I did not win. So I see this, they're having like interviews and it's just online. So I saw it. As much as I had said, I'm not going to do any pageant again, I need to rest. And I was like, you know what, maybe this is not going to take a lot of my energy. So I just sent in my application. I didn't even give it much thought. And then after a while, I realized actually the lady who's running the pageant, we have interacted before. So she's the one who reached out to me and she told me, you know what, I got a lot of applications, but I know you, I know how you work, so I think I'll just go with you. I don't think there's any need to interview any more people. Yeah, so that's how then I continued with my journey without actually wanting to continue.
Wow. That's what I say, sometimes things are just godly. People have sent application and stuff, and just from nowhere, you're picked. And now the funny thing, you've talked about being in Miss Earth and getting the fire position, and the lady was in Miss Continental before you. Maureen Wangari was also Miss Fire in 2017 at the Miss Earth. So it brings a lot of resemblance. And I think when I look at Miss Intercontinental, I look at Wangari, I see you because of your size, your eloquence and stuff like that. So you go and meet Linda, is her name? The franchise owner. Did you ask yourself questions? Why me? She's talked about a lot of people coming into pageantry and stuff like that. You lost your mom in the middle a pageant. Some people, and I think people from the western part of this country, believes in a lot of superstitions. They'll say, oh, probably I'm the one who killed my mom, I got into this, da, 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 da. So you say, I'm not going into pageant again. But yeah, you're here, you've not gone through a competition, and you're going to represent Kenya in Miss Intercontinental.
Yes.
How did you feel? How did you, when you first met physically with Linda, how was the conversation?
Yeah, so apparently almost everyone knew about what happened in Miss Earth because I used to document a little bit on Instagram. So Linda was really patient and, empathetic with me. So she really held my hand through the whole way. But, the first time when I got the news, I wasn't really sure how this was going to work because first of all, I was just applying for the sake of applying. I didn't know that I was going to get it. So when I got it, I was so excited and I was like, you know what? This is God. Because all my life, I've been just saying before I close my pageantry journey, I just want one chance to be out there, to represent my country. And, just when I saw the beauty queens when they go for these international pageants, it just looked like a dream and it was something I wanted to be part of. So during that time, I was just like, this is definitely God. It cannot be anyone else. He wants that for me. So I took it, I embraced it. And yes, I put in my best.
Wow, I like what you said when you get up there and you're representing the continent or the country. Most of the time, people do not realize how important it is because when you get there, there's never one day it will be written your name. It's Kenya. So when you get to any international pageant, those who have gone there, you're presenting the country. I think it's just that our country is still in that process of digesting what pageantry is all about. But I think we need to give our young people who are going to represent this country a lot of attention in terms of support because we haven't gotten enough support. You see, the young girl just wants to, her dream is to be that girl who represented Kenya and did it very well. We do it for athletics, we do it for athletes, we do it for footballers. Why can't we do it for beauty pageants? The only part that we know Kenya performs very well is in athletics. They spend a lot of money in football. We don't even get to Cup of Nations. We get we get into the world stage through pageantry. There are like 10 girls every year that represent Kenya from the biggest pageant, which is Miss World, through maybe middle pageants and stuff like that. So when we come back, we'll continue with this conversation. We're going in for a break. We're coming back in the next minute or two, and we'll continue listening to this brilliant, beautiful queen, Miss Intercontinental 2022.
Welcome to The Heaven, a 5-star Airbnb situated in Nakuru, Naka. Ample parking, tight security 24/7, smart lock on the door, homely ambience. The interior is superb, fully furnished with modern lounge, fully equipped kitchen with dishwasher, washing machine, cooker, fridge, Wi-Fi, smart TV and board games. 3-bedroom apartment, 2 master en suites, common bathroom. The Haven. It's located along the old Nairobi highway. Come and enjoy the presidential stay at The Haven, where we welcome you to a home away from home.
Thank you very much. Welcome to part 2 of episode 13. We are happy. You can see good following. If you're not subscribed to Sash Style, just go and click that, and we'll always alert you when we're on. The ones who were there before, we have a very beautiful queen. Her name is Yulen.
Yes.
Yeah, we're with Yulen. She's giving us a lot of insight, how she started her journey and how well she's doing what she loves, which is giving back and trying to get poverty out of the society. Yulen, this episode is going on just a few days to Women's Day, International Women's Day. Us as men, we've been complained, Women's Day is so advertised around the world. Women's Day want to take over Father's Day because they're also running Women's Day. The women at the center. And without women, I don't think whether this world would rotate. A lot of our mothers fight for us to be who we are. You said you grew up in the rural area, and you notice a lot of mothers, they wake up at 4 a.m, maybe go to the farm, probably go and look for water in African setting where piped water has not gotten there. Where I come from, we still go to the lake. Some of us still go to the lake to get water. It's the 21st century. Part of what would help us to eradicate poverty is this kind of the energy, water, education. Where are you mostly concentrated? Because you can't do all of it. You either concentrate on education, health, energy and stuff. Tell us about your advocacy.
So I would say at the moment, I have gotten a clear perspective on what I want with my project. Whether I am still in pageantry or not, I believe that it has helped me get to that. So like I said, I'm studying data science at the moment. And thank God in my life, I've come across someone who has really inspired me in so many different ways. And they're actually the reason I went back to study. Because I did my university. I'm actually an engineering graduate. But then, that aside. So I believe that education is the way to go. Like in the, wherever we are headed, the future, I believe that everyone should be empowered with education. And so I feel so sad, like, especially in this age, I argue with a lot of people, these technological advancements, are we really ready for them? Because what happens is you find like something like AI right now, it will come, it will take a lot of people's jobs. And do you know where the money that these people, the ones who lost their jobs, the money where it will be going to? To the inventors of what was invented. So you'll find like the owner of OpenAI, Sam Altman, those are the kind of people who are going to get the money. So the money is going to be saturated with the creators, the people who made the products, the people who are making these technological advancements. But what about the rest? While in fact, we all deserve a little share of, whatever Mother Earth has for us. So I believe that for, to have a balance and not have an imbalance, having very rich people and just middle and then a lot of poor people, we need to study. So right now, I'm first of all trying to pour into my cup because it is hard to pour out of an empty cup. So at the moment, I'm really focused on improving, getting more education, getting a better job for myself, and putting myself in a way that I can be able to inspire people, not just with my, words, but with my own life story. So I'm currently putting in a lot of work in terms of education, and I am working towards being able to, I love to empower women. Thank God you brought up the issue of women empowerment. And people say that women have been empowered for ages. But just look at what has been happening in Kenya recently, like when we've had the End the Femicide, movement. It comes back to empowerment. You see, like men will blame us and say it's because women just want to use our money. They don't have, they want to eat for free and everything. So, okay, fine. That is okay. We're not going to take a war on that. But I think it is important for women to stand up, be able to sustain themselves so that they make sure they're not settling for less and being treated anyhow just because someone is saying you want their money, you want their lunch. Yeah, so I'm really working towards having a platform where I can have maybe women, they come and get skills in different sectors, if it be technology mostly, because I love technology. So yes, I'm working towards that, and I hope very soon I can have a platform where women can be empowered financially. Yes.
Wow, I would listen to you the whole day, your eloquence, your knowledge of what's happening. One of the things that you've talked about, which is key, is that women empowerment and men thinking about women using them. I don't know whether it's generation, because I remember growing up. Okay, I didn't grow up in the village, I grew up in the city.
City boy.
Yeah. So, but still, because of the person I am, I'm so much into where I came from. So I have a big history about I'm Luo, so the movement from where we came and found ourselves by the lakeside. But women worked very hard. I don't think women depended on their husbands' money. Okay, that time it's how much wealth they had. Number two is that education. And we started the show by saying a lot of people look down to models. I just heard you're doing your second degree, and I needed to come loud that the model of today is not that woman who probably wants to go into Airbnb and spend money with useless, I would call them useless men who are trying to lure.
That's the word.
We're trying to lure the young girls. And if you look at the history, what's happening now, we would blame internet because the generation has changed. There are those models who call themselves, I think, online influencers or models. There's a very thin line between, I even tell people, between the runway model and the beauty queen. It's like water and oil, because one of the things is you cannot be a beauty queen if you not articulate a word, because you have to go through question and answers. You have to have a pet project and all those you cannot do. But as a model, a runway model, you can go and make millions in New York without even uttering a word of English. They just picked you, and this year we are looking for long neck girl, dark skinned. She's going to do New York, London, Tokyo Fashion Week and come with 10 million Kenya shillings without saying a word of English. But you can never go into an international pageant if you're not smart and cannot articulate your issues. So that Kenyans need to learn. We have a brilliant girl. She just graduated as engineer. She's a scientist. She's doing another course, and she wants to make sure poverty is eradicated in this country. So as a pageant trainer, manager, I want to let Kenyans know that this pageant will change the society in terms of how we think. Nobody will give us space as pageant ladies. Like we're trying to get 2/3 in parliament. Nobody will give you that 2/3. You must run as women to make it. Pageant ladies will go and compete against themselves. The winner will go and represent Kenya. And the more we do this, we're going to make it in the international. And by the time we win, then probably the government and the people of Kenya would understand the importance of having queens in this country. So, Rainbow, I've seen a lot of pictures of your past event. I'm seeing you with my good friend Daniel Juma of the Peace Global Peace. I see you with Mwendo. I'm seeing you with a good friend of mine, Ace Maganga. She's coming in for the next episode. A lot of people with the drive to make youth control this country. One thing I know, youth, when empowered, will do a lot of stuff because they have the drive. Older generation, because their time is almost gone, they want to accumulate everything. When we go into pageantry, one thing I don't, a contestant will ask the other, are you Luo, Kikuyu, or Kamba? It's usually contestant number 1, 10, 15, and stuff like that. So apart from women empowerment, as a youth, what are you bringing for them on the table? I think one of the things that probably you got very late was got into pageantry very late in campus. Nowadays, I see even a 2-year, 3 years kids into in pageantry.
Yeah.
So my question is, because I know there's empowerment in youth, in pageantry, are you planning to go back and tell guys, this thing has made a difference? I've gone to college and stuff like that, but there's a big part that pageantry opens doors. So my question is, are you going back to technical university or to where you came from, went to school, to try and say, yes, it's nice to go to school, but this has done 1, 2, 3 for me?
Wow. I'd say like pageantry changed my life. It changed the whole of me. And I would just say, like, from the moment I got onto my first day of training, it was just like a whole lot of personal development. And who in this world doesn't need some kind of development? You know, we are here to evolve, to grow, and everything. So the moment I got there, I just realized they were teaching me all these things that nobody is going to ever teach you, at least not for free. Like, let's say, for example, having insisting on, you know, well-being, taking care of yourself, working out, having a good diet. And it doesn't stop there. That is just surface-wise. There's all about public speaking, interpersonal skills. Can you go like to a meeting, speak with delegates and put your point across, you know? This is not who I always used to be. Like, I used to be a very shy girl and, you know, just inside, I'm much more introverted. But pageantry gave me the wings. It gave me the power. Like right now, I know if I go to any interview, like today I was just talking to some clients who wants to work with me. So they were like, wow, like, I just love the way you carry yourself. And I was not born like this. It is what pageantry instilled in me. It changed me a lot and, you know, just gave me some kind of confidence and to be able to interact with different people at all kinds of levels. So I would say that it's a good thing. I would encourage, if I meet a young girl or a young guy right now, I'll tell them, if you have a chance sometime, get into pageantry. Even if you do not win, it will be good for you and you'll appreciate it. And I mean, you talked about politicians, right? A beauty queen is someone, like, a beauty queen is already a politician. I have friends who tell me, you know what, I want to be a politician. The friends I was with in pageants, and I'm like, yes, you can do this, because that is what we keep doing. Talking to large crowds of people, trying to get people to vote for you, doing a lot of, issues in the society. And okay, that aside. So another thing, you've talked about the friends, Mr. Daniel Juma, and I met such great people through pageantry. I've been able to be in a platform where Dr. Shandaria is our mentor, and I made such connections through pageantry, and that is through the Global Peace Organization. So yes, I would say that pageantry has changed my life big time. And yeah,
I think you said it very well. One thing that people don't understand is how much impact pageantry bring in. I watched Yolanda Masinde in 2000 at the Miss World, where she missed the crown by an inch. And one thing that came out, the host was Jerry Springer, and asked, oh, Yolanda Masinde, how is Kenya? How is the Masai Mara and the Wild Beast and stuff? And considering Miss World is watched by 1.23 billion people, then amount of the advertisement that Kenya got in just that 35 seconds is massive. Now, Yolanda is answering about Masai Mara and Kenya on behalf of the magical Kenya. That magical Kenya does not understand the magnitude of how much pageantry brings publicity to this country. I remember when Scarlett Were was in Miss Universe, and she was asked about Donald Trump and Obama, the relationship that Kenya, people who didn't know about Barack was from Kenya, and the big fight with Donald Trump, knew at that point in time. So there's too much that people don't understand about pageantry. And you went ahead and talked about what you learned in pageantry, etiquette, personal care, and all that. Now, one thing that people don't understand is 60% of pageantry is off the catwalk. In fact, what you see in the catwalk that night, almost 70% has been judged. We look at how you carry yourself with the other models. How do you keep time? Your skills on public speaking and stuff like that. 90% of the models get into pageantry without the traveling document. So most pageantry, you're told you must now start working on your passport. You'd never have needed a passport unless you're going to school to study. So, and again, because some pageantry are very key and the association with government, so it's easy to get your passport. So you put it very well. I've never thought about it. Once you're in pageantry, you're already in leadership, because you ask questions and the questions comes at the end of the pageant. People are drunk, there's noise making and stuff. So you must be able to control the emotions of these guys to be able to understand, the judges to understand your answer. So again, the world need to understand that the training that you get from there, you not get it anywhere. One of the guests that have come here, she was Miss Trozi, she contested Miss Up and represented Kenya in a few of the pageants. She's now serves in the American Army. And what she was telling us, if you've watched, I think episode 3, she was saying she learned a lot in pageantry that helped her when she went into the boot camp in the American Army, because the boot camp is almost the same. It took them 3 weeks to do boot camp in Kenya, but in the army it was about 5 weeks. But again, it's that the training is just different. You've been in, you must have gone for boot camp during Miss Intercontinental. So a lot of things happen at the boot camp that ends. Like, for example, now Miss World is going on, and there are a lot of things they're doing. There's the challenges, there's the sports and stuff like that. So you have 117 girls contesting. But on that night, without people knowing, the only 40 was going to be judged. But at least everyone has to go on stage to represent their country. So this is to tell Kenyans, I'm advocating for Kenyans, I'm advocating for parents to encourage their kids to be part of this activity, which is called pageantry, because it's probably would say it's education without knowing you're being educated. You said a lot of these open doors, and it applies to me. I didn't go into pageantry, but I did modeling before. But because of organizing,
You never did a pageant?
I never got into pageantry, but I did fashion. But I fell in love with pageantry. Now I met. I sat with Mzee Moi, the president. I met Kibaki. Uhuru was my darling. Last year, I met Ruto, and I talked to him one-on-one on how pageantry would help him with his manifesto about youth. Let him forget about Boda Boda and Mama Mboga. When he gets that, because every year we have like 200 pageants in Kenya. The big pageants, you have 20 to 100 people registering. So imagine if you get that data, you're a data analyst. In a year, you have almost 5,000 people in the pageantry. In 5 years, you have numbers, and these guys have families and stuff. And if government get involved in that this youthful project, they'll have numbers.
Let me ask a little bit behind the scenes. So how was our president's reaction to this? Do you think it's something that he would buy, or it was just like, okay, fine?
The government of today has a lot of saying okay, but I think when you want something, you keep pushing. Now, the good thing is, when I was talking about pageantry and the success of pageantry, He was seated next to Ababu Namamba, who I think is young. Apart from young, he loves pageantry and he loves good thing. He loves style. So all that comes with pageantry. So Mr. President told the minister, kindly listen to this young man. Let's see how we can build pageantry in this country. And one of the things I was pitching is I do an event called Beauty Pageant of Africa. So I wanted them to hold it in Kenya. So we start the journey with one step. And I remember when I was living there, Itumbi, who works for the president, was like, no, let's go higher. Let's pitch for Miss World to come and we see our beautiful beaches, Masai Mara and stuff like that. So the more we keep talking about it and have positive vibes, I'm seeing Shantu is doing very well in social media. Then they learn there's something good about pageantry. And I'm seeing a lot of positivity because for a long time, Kenya was never sponsored. I think the last time they sponsored Kenya was in 2002 when I was doing pageantry. Then they're back now. That means government is listening because it's a government institution. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, myself, I'm looking forward to a future where beauty queens can receive that kind of support. Like in other countries, it's like once you get into pageants like this, you see, for me, I would say my life changed in pageantry in a personal way. It boosted my confidence and everything. But when you look at other countries, like once a beauty queen just, gets a title of some sort, it changes their life from there, And I think it's something we should also embrace as Kenyans. It's part of youth empowerment, instead of young people just going around now getting killed, I don't know because of what, they'll be involving themselves in something meaningful, which is also helping the society, right?
Yeah, truly. And I think one of the things that we need to get out there, that a lot of beauty queens are graduates, the ones who didn't go into university, went to college, and at some point they build their steps to higher level. I'd give one of the best, and I keep talking about her because she was my friend, Yolanda Masinde. She had just a college certificate when she went for Miss World. Came back because she fell in love with kids. She went into advocating for children with HIV. So that took her back to school. She went to study the Montessori kind of education. Became a teacher at Montessori, finished, got into USIU. Now she's a doctor, a psychologist.
Oh, wow.
If it wasn't for Miss World getting to pageantry, probably should be a secretary somewhere or somebody's wife with a number of kids. So I think pageantry opens your mind and you want to keep going and going. And listening from you, I think it's the same thing. You've done your first degree, you want to do another degree to make sure you have that empowerment in terms of you have the voice to talk where people are talking.
That's right.
And I think when we keep talking about, a lot of people are scared of saying, I'm a scientist. I know where I come from. We brag over anything. And it really helps. So that people can understand our beauty queens are not just that girl who is looking for easy, quick out.
Yeah.
They're very hardworking. When you see them planting trees or giving back sanitary towels and stuff, it's not just for PR. Some of them, it's gotten into them, and you can see a tear in their eyes when they see, this is what I went through in my earlier ages, and I don't want another kid to go through it.
That's right. Which reminds me, demystifying pageantry. There's a time, when you're doing pageants, sometimes you're doing swimsuit and some sort of stuff. So there's a time I was doing a swimsuit, and then I ended up posting those pictures on Facebook in front of my family relatives. And then some of them would send messages to my mother, look at what your child is doing. She's, involving herself in, they would just use all sorts of words. I cannot even express it. But the good thing is, I used to involve my mom. I involved my mom in my pageantry journey. And there's no pageant of mine she missed. And I explained to her, clearly, for me, pageantry changed my life, because I think if I did not get into pageantry, I would have taken a very different course in my life. My life would have taken a different course. But because I was in those things of, I used to do a lot of promotional marketing before. I'll go to promote in bars, events, clubs, and that sort of thing. You know, if you don't have a solid foundation inside yourself and you're doing those kind of jobs, it's very easy to go astray, right? So for me, by the time I was doing them, I wasn't really into pageantry. I didn't know about pageantry. So in a way, I would say my life was bound to go astray. I didn't have a strong foundation. So I had this conversation with my mom. I told her how really pageantry changed my life. Now I'm not that girl. I'm this girl who wants to better the society, who wants to better myself. Every time I'm thinking, what mark how do I want to live this world? What will be my legacy? And that to me was all brought by pageantry. So when my relatives would send her such pictures, she already knows this is what my daughter is into, and I'm very supportive of her. So she would just tell them off and be like, I know my daughter, I believe in her, and I believe this is a good thing for her. So I believe, yeah, pageantry also needs to be demystified, because a lot of people have different views on pageants and, you know, this kind of modeling, but I think it's a really great thing to ever happen to anybody.
Great. And like Beauty Queen has just said, it's key to involve family when you're doing stuff. So by the time they're hearing what's happening, they actually know we have a goodwill, let her do what she's doing. Mm-hmm. And in anything you do, if you involve family, it doesn't matter if things go wrong. If today your mom found you being mob justice because you've stolen something, there's no way she's going to accept that you did that. Your mother will never leave you in bad and good times. Mm-hmm. Now, one very important thing that we are discussing here today is about how well we can make pageants recognized as one of the best sports in this country. Mm-hmm. It's just by making sure we shame those guys who are doing the wrong thing. I was talking to Muesha Babu Namomba before his ministry was moved from culture, was taken from him. But it was like, Licky, we need to get a way where government can recognize pageantry and modeling. How do we do that? By starting an association with rules and regulations that these are things that can be done and this cannot be done. Now, another thing that people don't understand about pageantry, there's a gentleman, the late Eric Morley, who was the original founder of Miss World, together with the wife, Madam Morley. Now, one of the things Morley looked at to start Miss World was the world had gone through very sad times during World War I, and when World War II went ended in 1945. Miss World started in 1951, 6 years later. Mm-hmm. He thought about bringing the world together in happiness, not guns, not stuff. Mm-hmm. And what will bring happiness is looking at beautiful people having joy. And who goes to the war? It's men that goes to war. Mm-hmm. Who suffers the most? The kids and women. Mm-hmm. So when women now say women controls the world, let's get them on stage. Let's make our world a beautiful place. Mm-hmm. So the idea for Eric and Eric Morley was to get world a happier place, and that's why the rules and regulations. You should be 18 to 24, never married. And a lot of those things, some people say, why are you discriminating people who are not married? A reason for Eric Morley was, when you're married and you have a kid, you have so much responsibility to take care of your kid, probably, because pageantry takes a lot. As you've listened, you have to do research, you have to take care of stuff. Somebody was saying, for example, Miss Intercontinental said, the pictures sent and stuff. So imagine you're a man. We are very jealous and very weak humans. Women are very strong, but imagine somebody will send you pictures of your girl in bikini and stuff like that. The thing you'll be thinking about, other men are looking at my wife and stuff like that. It kills. So to try and avoid those negativity, that's why Miss World decided to get some rules that will bring families together. And number two, you'll find maybe the activist would say, oh, Miss World is breaking, or beauty pageants and stuff like that. So there are a lot of things that people have considered in pageantry. In fact, I keep telling guys the first beauty queen was Esther in the Bible. If you read the Bible, yeah. Esther was picked. The king was looking for a number, and many women came, and Esther was picked because of morals and stuff like that. So that's an example that I give guys. When you look at pageantry in terms of, they look at morals, they look at your love for people, all that in religion, any religion, not just Christianity. Those things that are looked for in pageantry are what are looked for in a pure good religious person. So before we leave, I think our time is almost done. I would like you to look at this camera and just tell guys what, give the young people advice. It may not be pageantry, but how to make it in life. Failure is not the end of you. Yes.
Yeah, for me, my personal motto always is the possibilities are endless. Does this mean I'm good at everything I do? No. It means when you have like a dream inside of yourself, make it a point for you to go after it, because the dream was planted in you for a reason. And just follow your intuition and follow your passion. You know, when you're passionate about something, you can be going about it, and eventually it will bear fruit. So don't be afraid to go after your dreams, and know that God got you and He's going to guide you through it all. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe to Sash Style.
Wow. Yulen, my crew is just excited about one of your videos that we just watched before. Usually we get videos and pictures you've gone through. And I understand, because being in pageantry, one of the most outstanding categories is the national costume.
Yeah.
And I'm told this was your national costume.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
My national costume was actually the it thing during my competition. I was representing the national bird of Kenya, which a lot of people have never actually know we have a national bird. It's called the lilac-breasted roller. Yeah, so it was made by a very special person. She's called Swiri Nyarkano, a Kenyan creator, a spiritualist, and also she teaches about African history. So when she created the costume, a lot went into it. It's only that if I explain to you that you'd really understand what's going on with that costume. But it even incorporated the ancient Egyptian, what's it called, like the gods. They represented one of those gods because I was going to Egypt, so it was just a way of connecting with the land. Yeah, and just a representation of the diversity of Kenya, because that's what the bird represents. And yeah, that was my national costume, and I really received a lot of support from Kenyans. And if you have not seen that video, go to my Instagram and see our national bird live on stage.
National bird?
Yes.
Where do you find it? It looks beautiful.
It's beautiful. The national bird, you know, I wanted to do something unique for my national costume. So that's something that someone has actually never represented. But our national bird says a lot about Kenya. You see, we have a lot of diversity, and that's why it has a lot of colors. And not to forget, it is so beautiful, just like our country. So that was it.
Wow, you did your homework. It looks beautiful. Let's support these young people. It's not easy, it's not cheap if you don't have a designer to help you design the national costumes. So Yulen, it's amazing being with you today and just being part of this talk. On the 20th of March, we're doing now an open masterclass at National Theatre. I hope you'll be one of the panelists at that event. So karibu tena, I'll give you an invite. Let's see how well we change this industry. I see your passion, I see your love for changing this industry, and we need many of you.
Yes,
thank you.
I'll be glad to be on it. So thank you so much for having me, Liki.
Karibu. Yeah, so before we go, I want to say subscribe for Sash Style. Make sure you're part of this journey. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell parents to be able to understand. Government, you must listen to us. You won't regret being part of this journey. Next week, same time, more beautiful people talking about it. I thought it's only wise to talk to the people who've traveled this journey, because then I can talk as an organizer, but I have never worn that bikini to be on the catwalk. I've gone to support the girls internationally, but they feel the pinch because they're there for 3 weeks, then they go for the event on stage and stuff like that. So they're the only ones who can save them. Maybe I'll talk about it, but I would be lying. Somebody might think I'm lying. So again, thank you so much. My crew backstage are amazing. I'd like to thank Mavo, Newton, Dixon, and the rest of the group at Photo Magic, Pambazuka Entertainment, and the support that you've given me every Wednesday to be able to have that energy to do this, and we keep doing it again and again. See you next week. Asante sana.